Hey, up next on the MARR Army Rock Show, excited to have Micah. He's the singer-guitar player from San Antonio, Texas band Waxpanel. They've got a new release out called For Those Left Standing. Micah, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, hey, it's your first time on our show, I know, so for maybe folks that aren't familiar with your band, give me maybe just a brief bio or history of the band, if you would.
Well, we're Waxpanel from San Antonio, Texas. We've been together for 11 years. Started out in 2008. We had a couple of EPs that we released along the way. We got signed to Pavement Entertainment about a year ago. And we just debuted our first full-length album called For Those Left Standing last Friday. We've had several member changes over the years. We've had, lots of highs, lots of lows, but this album is released for those left standing in the band, so that's where we got the title from. We're a Christian rock band. We play in bars and clubs and churches. We play everywhere. So it's only the beginning.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, the record came out just this week, really, on February 22nd. Tell us a little bit about the making of the record, where you recorded and who your producer was and how long it took.
Well, this record started out, it's a collection of material over the last 5 years. So two of the songs started out as singles, and those were Believe and Dying Inside. And then those songs opened up some more doors for us in the band. And then we added 4 more songs to those two, and that created our Beginnings EP. That got the attention of Pavement Entertainment, and then we decided that we wanted to put out a full-length album. So we went back to the studio and recorded 6 more songs, and that compiled our 12-song release that we just put out. It was recorded the last 5 years of our lives in multiple studios, some places up in Dallas-Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, and our producer was David Castell. David has done the, Blue October albums, Toadies. Really great guy, professional, and is amazing at what he does. So that's everything in a nutshell.
Now, you alluded to some lineup changes over the years. Are you, if I look at your Facebook page, you're operating as a 3-piece now? Is that correct?
Correct. And what we're doing is we're auditioning for a second guitarist, and then we have plans to add a keyboardist. When you listen to our album, there's elements of symphonic pieces in there and definitely keys. And so we want to put that in our music down the line. And our sound definitely needs a 2-guitar sound. So the pictures that you see right now, the current is Fletch, my bass player, and my drummer, Steve Thundersticks. I've been playing with him for about 8 years now, and then myself.
So, hey, I want to talk a little bit about some of the music, and you alluded to the first single, which was entitled Dying Inside. So give me a little bit more of the message of what that tune's about.
Okay, well, I was talking with my buddy a few years ago, my friend, his name's Muskrat, as we call him, and I was telling him that basically what the song is when I started performing, I used to be really nervous, singing, and growing up, I had a lot of different people say discouraging things. So it made it difficult when I would try to perform, And I just remember after a while, once I got past those fears and just basically gave that to God and I got free from that, I could look at people's faces in front of me while I was singing, and I could smile and I could interact with them. And, and it was more of a natural experience, rather than just trying to present your music and diverting your eyes and being reclusive, if you will. And so that's where that message kind of comes from. And then the song is also encouraging people to, in their lives, don't let your fears discourage you and pull you away from the truth. And putting myself up there and saying I've screwed up many times in my life. But then also in the chorus, when it cranks into the chorus, the message is, rise up, reach out your hands to God. Save us from ourselves, save us from this hell. So it's a message for God too, and to try to point people towards that overall message that we have in our band. So they liked the song. They decided it was a strong first single to to put out there in the rock world, and we're praying to see what happens.
So another one that was a little trickier for me to figure out the message behind, I'm curious to see what you say, is the song Suitcase. I was trying to figure out what that song's about.
Okay, so a few years ago I wrote the song Believe. So Suitcase is basically, the way I describe it, is kind of Believe 2.0. Believe was a song written about my wife and I. We were going through some hard times that most people do, in long marriages, and we thought it was about to end, so we decided to keep pushing forward and go through counseling and all the different things we went through. And that song I wrote that for my wife and my son, Believe. And so Suitcase is the continuation of that story, saying that I'm not going anywhere, and the suitcase is completely stable, and there's 3 of us, and then that turns into now, our daughter just turned 5, so now there's 4 of us in our family. So that's what that song means. I write the messages of our music. I either write from my personal life or my bandmates' lives, or our belief in, Christ, Jesus Christ. So those are the things that we pull from, because they have to be real for us. So that's what Suitcase means.
Now, unless I missed it somewhere, and I've been known to make this mistake before, but is there a music video yet for this album, or is that something you guys are still talking about?
Man, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I really want to record a music video. I think that's what we should do in the next few months. And there's a few songs we'd love to do that for. Currently, the only video that we have is our video for Believe, and that was filmed several years ago, and that was, taken from studio footage and spliced with the song playing in the background. So people can look up Waxpanel Believe, and they can see, and then half the band has old members. So we definitely need an updated video, because it's like, oh, who's that guy? Who's that guy? I was like, oh yeah, that's 4 years old, 5 years old. But like I said, this has been a long journey. It's for those left standing. So it's we have an idea to record this video. I want to record a video for a song called My Life for You, and there's this really awesome, 100-year-old church that my buddy has. He's a pastor out there, at youth pastor, and we went in there. It's got this stained glass, and it's got this balcony, and it just looks so awesome. And I think that would be really cool for a music video out there. So we'll try to see if we can make that work.
So you mentioned, a couple times you guys being a Christian band, and there's a lot of them out there that do, that we call crossover bands, who will play, so, and I see you do a lot of the big festivals. So are you truly a crossover band? Are you a band that I'll see playing at a nightclub, sharing a stage with, I guess you'd call it a mainstream band, or are you pretty much in that niche, that Christian music niche?
Well, we're not. I don't think that we're in a niche, because we just don't think about it. We're not trying to fit in with anybody. We're older guys, and we have families, and so this is what's real for us, and this is what we believe. So what we do is we just go to bars and we play. And what we do is we don't shove our beliefs down people's throats. We just say, hey, we're Waxpanel. We open up all of our show with prayer. And I say a quick prayer, whatever God leads me to say. We go into our songs. We usually start out with our heaviest songs first. We want to get everybody's energy up, and then we'll strip it down to maybe acoustic stuff in the middle, and then we'll bring it up to rock stuff, and we say, peace out, we love you guys, come talk to us afterwards. And we play with non-Christian bands and Christian bands, and that's just what we believe. I mean, it's like if you go see some, like I keep saying, some other metal bands out there, or rock bands, they don't have any problem showcasing what they believe too. And the music, it speaks for itself. So, and I think it's awesome music, and it's for God and for everybody. So whoever wants to play with us, we'll play. So we play in bars, and then we play for church youth groups. So we play all over.
That's awesome. Good diverse audience for you guys. Now, you mentioned something that dovetails in the next thing I was going to ask you. When I listened to your music, and it was cool to hear you say you start with the heavy stuff, I was wondering how you write, because a lot of your music, almost everything I heard, can translate acoustically. So when you're writing, are you writing on an acoustic guitar or piano? What does it look like when you're writing your music?
Yeah, see, you're right down the same path. We're on the same wavelength there. What we think, how I do it now is I get my acoustic guitar, and I want to start out with my acoustic, because I know that'll translate to so many more diverse options after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's hard rock songs that are really, you can't pull off acoustically, or it's really hard to, you know. So what I do is I start out with my acoustic guitar, and I just come out with whatever those melodies are, and I might play those tunes for months, and then I'll start humming out melodies. You have to have the great music and the hook and the melodies first, and eventually you'll start thinking about themes. What do you want to tell people? What's going on in your life? And then you can start coming up with syllables, and then put that into, you know, and I always work with the chorus first, and I start to, you know, everything is building up to that chorus, you know what I mean? That's the hook that everybody wants to sing and remember when they're going home at night. So I want that to be something that will impact people's lives. So I go from that, and then I backtrack, and I fill in the verses in the bridge, and that's how I do it.
Well, hey, man, I've had a good time getting to know you a little bit. The album is called For Those Left Standing. They are Waxpanel from San Antonio, Texas. And, Micah, where do you want folks to go to learn more about you, hear your music, buy your music, all that good stuff? Where do you want to direct people to?
Well, they can go, you know, just do a general search, Waxpanel music. I'm sure, you know, I've downloaded mine from iTunes. You can get on iTunes, Amazon, Google, all those different outlets where, you know, you go to Pavement Entertainment. We're on our label's website. We're on Twitter and Facebook and Reverb Nation, those places. I like people to know if they're going through anything that they can always reach out to us. They can message us. We'd love to talk to you, get to know you, pray with you, whatever we can do to help you out. And it's been such a pleasure and an honor to be on your show. And thank you for this time.
Oh, thank you so much, man. And we'll be keeping an eye on you guys, and we'll definitely have you guys back as guests again. So, Micah, man, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, thank you so much. God bless you. You have a great week, and we'll see you soon.